Howdy, my name is Madeleine Woodall, and I want to welcome you to my podcast. Today, our episode is titled Smarter Water Exploring the Power of Smart Irrigation Systems. In this episode, we are going to discuss smart irrigation and how it is a key component of smart agriculture and the future of agriculture, especially in our classrooms. I do want to say that this episode is going to be extremely information dense, but I promise you will learn a lot. In the 2022 article, Everything You Need to Know About Smart Agriculture, it defines smart agriculture as accessing data and applying those data to optimize a complex system towards increasing the quality standards of the produce along with reducing human labor. Now, I know what you're thinking. That is a lot of words. Basically, smart agriculture uses data to make a system easier, increase efficiency, and reduce human labor. Now, moving into smart irrigation, the same article says that it is using technology to optimize water usage when watering plants. I'm going to move into some examples now, and there are a few types of smart irrigation. We have weather-based, soil moisture sensor, and drip irrigation. The first one we are going to talk about in this episode is weather-based smart irrigation. In the article by Mitra, it says that these systems receive temperature and rainfall data from local weather stations, and a controller regulates the irrigation. I'm going to go ahead and insert a clip from an interview that explains it a little bit more.
Based irrigation controller. And before I get into the weather-based irrigation controller, we've been having a lot of heavy rains lately. A lot of people have those standard sprinkler systems, and the problem with that is you set a timer on it, it's pouring rain, and what happens to your yard? It gets saturated with more water, the sprinkler's going on while it's raining. Well, this weather-based irrigation controller, what it's doing is it's using the local weather conditions in your local area, wind, sun, humidity, that all has a factor, and what it's doing is it's actually going to water your lawn and garden based on the needs of your actual lawn. So it's not going to overwater at all. It's going to give it exactly what the watering needs it needs.
Okay, interesting. So how does it sense that?
Well, it's built into the controller.
Okay.
So it's using that data that's around you to actually give it the watering needs that your plants and your garden needs.
Okay.
And
Okay, I hope that helped you just a little bit, because it definitely helped me. So, the next example that I have is called a soil moisture sensor, which is where sensors are placed inside the turf, and they actually determine the content of moisture in the soil. The values from weather-based smart irrigation are also required for this. The data from the sensors and the weather-based systems are sent to a cloud, and then actuators like sprinklers are activated. Here's another clip to help you understand.
A soil moisture sensor like this is designed to automate the irrigation system. When we talk about automating an irrigation system, we're talking about when to start watering and when to stop watering. Okay, that is what a soil moisture sensor does. It provides the user, us, with data, and with that data, we can make better irrigation management decisions, and those management decisions are when to start, how dry do you want to let your system get before you reapply the water, and when you start watering and you start reapplying that water, how long should you water until it's wet and you want to stop watering so that you don't over water. So it's really those two principles that a soil moisture sensor can automate for us.
Okay. That video was from Sprinkler Nerd Andy. So if you want to go follow him on YouTube, he gives some really great information. Finally, we have a drip irrigation system. Garg and Allen explained that drip irrigation takes real-time data through sensors, and smart recommendations are provided to farmers to manage and control the garden from anywhere with the help of smartphones. Now, we always have our smartphones on us all the time. So being able to get notifications or just check the status of something and change it, it's really cool. So who actually uses this kind of stuff? There are many different people who use these smart irrigation systems. Personally, I've never used them, but my parents will start once they move to the hill country where they have to be limited on their water. Large commercial growers, such as almond and grape farmers in California, have adapted automated irrigation systems that respond to real-time data. Greenhouse operators rely on smart irrigation systems that combine water and nutrients based on plant needs because they use those sensors. Ranchers in dry climates will also use remote sensors to monitor water levels in stock tanks and wells and sending alerts when the levels drop. Even small farmers in parts of Africa and India are starting to use low-cost sensor skills connected to mobile phones to guide their irrigation decisions. These systems help reduce labor, save resources, and improve yields, especially in areas facing water shortages. All right, y'all. We have given you a whole lot of information in a very short amount of time, so I'm going to explain how this connects to methods of technological change in the ALEC 640 course. I think one of the biggest challenges in agriculture is getting longtime farmers and ranchers to adopt these new technologies. Connecting this to our coursework, I feel like we can look at adopter categories. There are 5 of them, and I'm going to explain each one of them in terms of adapting this smart irrigation system. Our first one is called an innovator. These are the first to try these smart irrigation systems. They're often large commercial farms or tech-savvy growers with the money to invest early on. Our next one is early adopters. Now, these farmers aren't necessarily inventing the technology, but they're quick to adopt when they see value. They might attend workshops or be involved in research partnerships through AgriLife Extension or agriculture universities. The next one that we have are the early majority. They wait until the technology is more reliable and affordable. At this stage, we see more adoption of things like soil moisture sensors and irrigation apps because they're easier to use, especially whenever there might be government incentives or cost share programs to reduce the investment risk. Our second to last adopter category are the late majority. These adopters are more skeptical. They often need peer pressure, an economic benefit, or even a mandate before changing their practices. In rural areas with limited tech support, this group may delay adoption because of those barriers. Finally, we have our laggards. These are often farmers with strong traditional practices or limited access to training, funding, or connectivity. For them, change comes very slowly, if at all, unless outside factors like water restrictions or crop failure force them to act. Understanding these categories helps educators, policymakers, and agriculture technology developers better target training, support, and messaging to help adoption moving forward that are respectful and effective. So how does this look in the future? The future of smart agriculture and smart irrigation is essential. With a growing population, there needs to be more efficient ways to take care of our food and water supply. I feel that we can expect more adoption of AI-driven platforms that combine data and weather forecasts to make irrigation decisions. We will also likely see increased irrigation systems with renewable energy sources, such as solar power. Finally, as an educator, I feel that we will likely see these systems brought into the classroom as well. Agricultural education is growing, just like agriculture itself. Bringing these systems into education will allow for more jobs in installing and maintaining these systems, as well as using them in the industry overall. To wrap up this extremely dense episode of our podcast, I want to remind you that smart irrigation is essential to smart agriculture and using data to conserve water. The main technologies of smart irrigation systems include soil moisture sensors, weather-based controllers, and drip irrigation systems. These tools are being used by all kinds of producers all over the world, and it is only getting started. Now, we have to remember that agriculture is a part of history. This means that not everyone is going to jump right in and adopt this new technology right off the bat. I explain this using the adopter categories. As water becomes even more of a valuable resource, the future of agriculture will depend on smart irrigation and the people trained to lead its implementation. Okay. Thank you so very much for listening to this episode of my podcast. I'm Madeleine Woodall, and please stay tuned for more episodes exploring how technology is reshaping the future of agriculture.